Shall we just have a quick chat about testing? Now, a lot of you may have seen my testing video from a few weeks ago where I let you know all the latest information. Now, obviously, nothing has changed since then. It is all the same. Testing is still Wednesday to Friday. You have a morning session, afternoon session. But in this video, I aim to give a bit more detail about how the teams are going to run things and what we might see during testing, and really, can you get much out of testing? Now, let's get into how the teams will run testing. Now, as we know, there will be 6 sessions. These sessions will be 3, maybe 4 hours long, I believe. I believe it'll be green light at 7 a.m. UK time to about 12, which is like 3, 4, 5 hours. It's a long time. They spend a long time on track. Let's just put it that way. I'm jumping in this video to tell you to hit that subscribe button. It is completely free and it will keep you up to date with all my content throughout the testing and race weekends. I also do football content, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that. Hit that subscribe button. And the teams will normally split their drivers. Now, some teams will do, driver will do a full day and then half a day. And then they'll do the first day is a full day, second day is 2 half days, and then the final day, the other driver will get the full half. Full half? The full day. Now, I expect most teams will do that. Now, we saw a couple of years ago, Lando Norris did essentially all 3 days because I believe Ricciardo had COVID, or it was the other way around, and Ricciardo, it was something along them lines. We saw last year, Alonso did a lot of the running for Bahrain because Lance Stroll broke his wrist and wasn't quite ready to get back in the car yet. Hopefully we won't have any issues like that this season. Hopefully all drivers are fit and able to get into the car for testing. But they've all been training really hard. As you can imagine, Formula 1 drivers need to be right up to speed, especially their necks with the G-forces that they face. Now, is testing really able to give you a look at the grid order? Now, obviously, there's lots of caveats to times, performance, and things along them lines. Now, for me, I think testing gives you a bit of an overview, but it never will tell you the full story. Now, we saw last year that we all expected Aston Martin to be fast. You could tell that in testing. They were miles ahead of where they were the year before. They were in and around the Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull sort of pack. You could tell that McLaren were off the pace. They had a few issues during testing as well. And I don't think testing is really very, representative. I think you can tell a lot, but you can't tell everything because you don't know fuel loads, you don't know what program they're running. I think it's the same for a lot of the practice sessions as well. Yeah, you have a brief idea of who's quick, who's slow, but you never have a full in-your-face idea of the situation realistically until the end of qualifying after the first race. Now, we saw last year the Aston Martins really showed up in testing, and then they kept that going for essentially the first half of the season, I'd say. But I personally think you don't want to read too much into testing times. The big thing to look out for is reliability, long runs, who's able to run their car for 50, 60 laps at a time, who's able to get 20 odd laps in, who's running what tyre. They're the important things to look out for. How long are the cars on track for? Now, the big thing that I always take a keen notice on is laps that they've ran, because if you've got one team that's ran 250, 300 laps on the first day, now I'm not saying that's what they will do, but they might, and then you've got a team that's run 20, 30 laps. Now, it's obvious the team that's run 250, 300 laps is going to have more understanding of their package and the track. And now, obviously, the first race is at Bahrain in over a week's time. I'm really excited for that. I hope you are too. Let me know down in the comments if you're excited about testing and the upcoming races. Now, the important part about testing is understanding your package. Now, it's going to be interesting to see where the likes of Mercedes shape up, because obviously they made a whole load of changes to their car. Ferrari have made a load of changes to their car. Now, Aston Martin are going to be hoping that they can come back to the form that they were in at the start of last season. But all of that comes down to knowing your package, knowing your car, and that all comes down to running laps. And if you have reliability issues, if one of the drivers crashes, that can affect the whole day. If, say, Pierre Gasly puts it into a wall on his second or third lap, that car's probably not getting out till the afternoon, and then you're missing out on 2, maybe 3 hours of laps, of driving, of understanding of the car, understanding of the circuit. Now, obviously, all these drivers, especially this year, there's not one rookie on the grid, will know the track, will have done the testing last year, done the race last year. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see where the drivers shape up, how they run their sessions. Because for me, I'd personally, if I was a team principal, if I was in charge of this, I'd have one driver for the first day, one driver for the second day, and then split the third day. Because then both drivers get a full day in the car. Because I think you can do a morning maybe and change in the afternoon, and then by the next day the track's completely different. Whereas if you're running all on the same day, you're running to the same standards, if that makes sense, and you can track everything throughout the day and how the package is coming along, how the driver's getting along with the package. You can track all that as the day goes on. Obviously, there'll be temperature changes, wind direction changes as the day goes on, but that's what you'd expect in a normal race weekend. So that's what I'd keep an eye on. And then obviously when you get to the final day, the drivers will be pretty much at the end of their runs and their programs, and the teams most likely, so long as there's no big issues, will be happy with what they're doing. Hopefully we won't see any red flags during the sessions or any virtual safety cars. Now I know obviously they do their tests for blue flags, yellow flags, double yellows and all that, and obviously that's completely fine. You've got to make sure that the systems are all working and in order. But I'm just hoping that we can get through a testing weekend. Well, it's not even a weekend, it's the weekdays, isn't it? So I'm hoping we can get through a testing 3 days with no major problems. I hope all teams come through unscathed, and I hope we have a good few days to talk about, let's say, because I'm going to be doing reviews of testing on this channel. So make sure you've hit that subscribe button and you've liked. Let me know who you think is going to win the championship this year, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.